I hate to see women fight. I, I think it's nothing more degradable than watching women fight each other. You say, well, what about the dudes that like women and let them fight? There's something wrong with them motherfuckers. For real. If a man sit back and watching women fight, something wrong with them, y'all. For real. I'm disgusted at them motherfuckers. They sick. I'm sitting there talking about Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather fight. It's reasons why they can't fight. Boxing is a sanctioned event that's not undisputed. I want to say undisputed, certified. That's what I want to say, but it's sanctioned with professional health people, and they have to protect license. This license, that's the word I was looking for. It's licensed through the health profession, which means they can't put people at such a health risk because of the knowledge that we know about the body, the human body, and how it can be injured. So that's why you have like certain weight on gloves, and because you can crush somebody's head by punching them in the face. You can seriously hurt them. You can break bones in their head that would affect their brain and hit people in the eye and crack sockets and stuff. And so in boxing, professionally licensed people is sanctioned, certified, sanctioned, however you want to put it, to monitor the sports. So you wouldn't see people like Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather fight in the ring. Y'all talk about who the greatest. Well, you're not gonna put Floyd Mayweather in the ring with Mike Tyson. You wouldn't put a chimp in the ring with a gorilla, would you? You wouldn't let them fight. It's an unfair height and weight advantage. It's like child abuse. If you were to put a child to fight an adult, that wouldn't be fair. That's why they call it child abuse, because it's an unfair weight and height advantage, and people could get hurt. The human body could get hurt. But as far as the women, and that's with the women, you see out here fighting and on social media and stuff, and people recording and watching these women fight and these girls fight. That shit is horrible because they don't really know what the fuck they doing. But they do know one thing: they trying to hurt somebody really bad, and sometimes that shit gonna work. Cause the female's really not trained to fight, and it's a lot of men out here ain't trained to fight. But at least, as humans, humane humans, we trying to at least put gloves on and put them in the ring and let them go into a ring and fight, so we won't look like such Neanderthals. We had this period of evolution with humans that's called enlightenment. That means that we decided that we smart enough as humans to come out of the dark age of being idiots. So since we consider ourselves civil now in these times, educated, civil. We try to do things that's more civil, like putting gloves on, and so we don't crack people's heads and let people just sit out there and bleed to death and have concussions and shit that we don't necessarily need. Not for a simple fighting event. Now war is a whole different story. That's war. But sanctioned events, nah. Especially with women. I hate to see women fight each other. They don't know what the fuck they doing. Two women sitting there fighting and shit. That shit weak. If they was fighting to kill, that's a whole different story. They fight for something else, but I still wouldn't want to watch the shit. That's all. I just want to tell y'all about how I feel about these women that y'all be posting on the internets and shit and letting them fight and shit. I think that shit disgusting. And I think the men that allow it is weak. I think they're very weak. I think they very weak to allow. I remember one night, me and my cousins and some friends of mine, we was at this club on Finkel in Detroit, and the girls got to fighting. The club was ending, and I stepped in and broke it up. Like, I don't let these girls fight. For what? And one of them was my boy, my cousin boy, and his girl trying to fight. And I'm like, he mad at me because I stepped in the middle of his girl fighting. And I'm thinking, like, what the fuck? Why would you want you love her, right? Why would you want her scratched up and bruised up and fucked up? That's your girl. He was mad at me about that shit. That shit was puzzling. And then my cousin was like, yeah, you don't do that. You don't do this. Like, I'm coming home from school. I'm like, what type of shit y'all niggas on? What type of shit? I mean, we all we had a club that we rented the fucking building. So everybody in the motherfucker, it's a cabaret. So everybody in this cabaret supposed to be family. Everybody in this bitch supposed to be family. And the bitches in here fighting and y'all ain't trying to break it up. I'm looking at these niggas, they sitting up there watching this shit. I'm like, man, don't let these bitches fight. Fuck wrong with y'all? So I broke it up. But you know what? I'm glad that night because the nigga started talking shit, and one of my homeboys pulled out the mag and yak. That cut all that shit out. Y'all remember that shit? Y'all niggas to know. Y'all remember that night? I ain't gonna say who pulled out the mag. Remember that night? Y'all niggas got calm in the motherfucker. I said, see, we ain't even have to go to that. We ain't even have to get there. We should have been civil enough that we could have talked as gentlemen and squashed that shit. But as soon as motherfucking heat came out, that's when everybody wanted to get level-headed. That was funny, though. Oh, okay, I'll see motherfuckers later. Yeah, and stop letting these bitches fight each other.